Welcome. Thank you so much. I'm Pasquale DeMaio. I'm the general manager for Amazon Connect. I'm really excited to have you here. I see a ton of folks out here in the audience, and for those of you who trekked over from the Venetian, thank you so much. As you can see, we've got a few customers with us today to talk a little bit about their experience with Amazon Connect as well, and how folks are innovating in the contact center. Before we get started, how many folks here work directly in contact center technology? Awesome, this is a great crowd. When we first started doing reInvents here, we didn't have hardly anybody in the contact center world coming to reInvents, and so it's very exciting to see how much that's changed. But I think a big part of that is the fact that folks are really building the contact center out around the idea that you have to innovate quickly, and you have to be incredibly aware of what customers are doing now at the speed at which they expect you to innovate, which is very fast. I'm going to start today talking just a little bit about the history of Amazon. You may know that we strive to be the Earth's most customer-centric company. We work very hard to connect with our customers, and if they ever have a problem, we will spend the time to help make that a better experience than if they hadn't had a problem. That's a big goal. I bet a lot of you also have similar goals, though, and you can do it. But the last few years have made delivering great customer service a lot more challenging. I don't know what the experiences you have had specifically, but I've talked to customers who have seen as much of 1,000% increase in engagement from their customers during this time. That's a lot of change. And during this time, folks were scrambling, obviously, to move agents home to deal with the problems. And yet at the same time, we were seeing the great resignation, which meant a lot of people were losing agents. And this is an area where folks already see high turnover. I've seen actual customers who have more than 100% annual turnover, which is incredible. Obviously, that's very painful. It means you're spending a lot of time training agents, trying to get agents up to speed, and then sometimes they're leaving almost immediately. All this while contact center volumes are rising, which is putting more pressure on the agents you have, and your best agents are getting burnt out. It's a problem that obviously results in a bad outcome for the agents, and therefore a bad outcome for your customers if you're not careful. And during all of this time, customers' expectations have been going up. Do you feel like, raise your hand if you feel like customers have a higher expectation they do now than they did 3 years ago. Certainly that's been our experience, and I think we expect that. We know customers will always be wanting better, and they should expect better. But it doesn't get easier when you go through the kind of things we have in the last few years. These challenges have really resulted in a change in the way we have to think about engaging in customer support, engaging in customer help, and then also engaging in sales and just helping customers get done what they want to get done. When you talk to customers, they are not telling us generally, broadly in the industry, that they're seeing that experience improve, though, despite the fact that 75% of them are telling us that they expect good service, and more than half tell us that they will see service as at least as important as the actual product. We still see that less than half of them are actually telling us that they're getting that service they expect. So one of the problems that I think a lot of folks have faced over the last couple of years has been around the fact that the legacy contact centers and the way that it's been innovated on just hadn't kept up with a lot of broadly where technology has gone. It made it really hard to be a contact center leader where you were trying to move quickly, but you found yourself falling behind because the hardware, the software, the systems just couldn't do what you needed to do to deliver the level of engagement and the level of customer support and experience you wanted to. Certainly, that's something that can be very painful when you got into the business originally because you cared so much about customers. And I can't speak for all of you, obviously, but when I talk to people in this business, I find that almost all of them comment on the fact that they love helping customers. And when I talk to agents, I hear the same thing. But you need technology that can help you do that. And this is an area where the cloud is uniquely positioned. Amazon Connect is a fully multi-tenant cloud-based contact center. It can scale to tens of thousands of agents. In fact, we have more than 100,000 agents at Amazon today who use Amazon Connect technology to deliver great customer service. The other thing that's great about the cloud is that it not just scales up, but it can also scale down. So in trying times like this, when you don't know what's going to happen, you may need to actually reduce your agent workload or may change your workloads dramatically. And because you don't have to have onerous upfront commitments with a tool like this, you just pay for what you use, that means you can scale up one day when you have a massive rush, and then 2 weeks later when that changes dramatically, you can scale back down all the way to 0 if you need to. That's a really powerful statement to make. And it's something that, in today's economy and the challenges you face with agents and all the other things, it can make a huge difference in your business. Another thing about Amazon Connect and the cloud generally is that you can make changes very quickly. And with Amazon Connect, you can literally take minutes instead of months to make a move. You can test things very quickly. You can innovate at your own pace. It's incredibly powerful to be able to say, hey, I want to see if this works. I'm going to put it out today, and by tonight, I'll have real-world data that tells me if it did work, if the change I made improved things, and then I can do it again. And the kind of changes and the kind of experience you can deliver with Amazon Connect are really powerful, too. Natural language understanding is built into the capabilities with a tight integration with Alexa bots, which are Lex is a tool we built from our learnings from Alexa. If anyone here have an Echo device at home? Thank you, I appreciate it. Though that learnings from there allowed us to build a more general purpose tool that now you can bring to your customers. And we bring people in, and they will learn within a day and get set up with a custom voice-based natural language understanding experience. And the thing about that is we really want those experiences to be dynamic. And so you can actually learn by what's happening with your customers. You can make changes instantly, and you can even make changes on the fly to have a conversation with them. So instead of saying, hey, how can I help you, or press or say 1, even worse, you can say, I see that your credit card was declined this morning. Is that why you're calling? Or I see your flight was delayed. Is that why you're calling? That takes an experience where someone's dying to press 0 or say operator, and turns it into an experience where you're solving their problem faster than they could ever have done on their own. That takes something that is painful and frustrating and makes it delightful. Another aspect of this is that we built Connect from the ground up. We started building it for those Amazon contact centers. We actually have 150 plus Amazon contact centers, depending on you count them, within the broad company, whether that be something you think about, like you probably think, hey, when I buy something on the .com website, but also we, of course, have HR, we have tech support, we've got folks doing stuff all over the world for things like Zappos or Audible, and then, I mean, just about anything you can think about, outbound sales. There's folks doing all kinds of things there. And we looked at it as a holistic solution. So instead of piecing things together, we wanted to build them to work together from the beginning. It's not about a product that you would have to buy. It was about solving the problems you had at hand and building it to really get to the bottom of that. And then another thing that's really compelling is Amazon just is incredibly invested in machine learning. Anyone see any of the machine learning talks or see any of the announcements today? I mean, you can see we're building machine learning into everything we're doing here because we just know that it can do things better than a human being can in some cases, like looking at massive amounts of data, understanding what's happening in your contact center should be a science, not an art. And we are able to do that here. We're doing that and bringing it to every industry. And so this really can be something you actually see real-world results with, whether that be through Contact Lens, which lets you analyze every contact if you want to, or whether that be through the Lex natural language understanding or the Poly voices, which allow you to have natural speech with your customers. And you can use those same bots with chat as well. So again, everything coming together from the ground up to work as one seamless experience. And finally, we have the analytics you need to make changes regularly. You can't stand still today. I think everyone recognizes that, but it's easier said than done sometimes. And so the thing about it is if you can see the data in real time and then you can take all that data and explore it and use it however you want to, we give you full access to all of your data, whether that be call recordings, whether that be your historical metrics, or whether that be streaming data if you want it. That allows you to make changes on the fly and learn from everything you're doing every day. Combined with the ability to make those changes quickly and test them, it means you can be making your systems better every day. We had customers who went from running 1 experiment a year to running 1 experiment a day. So this is a bit of an eye chart, and I actually hate this slide and love this slide. And the reason why I hate it is because like many of you, you've probably looked at a slide like this and thought about the architecture of trying to put together a contact center and said, I have to buy all this stuff from so many vendors and try to stitch it together. That's the opposite of the way we think about it with Connect. Instead, we want to give you everything out of the box and have it just work. In many cases, as simple as clicking a button can turn it on or setting a switch. For example, Contact Lens, you can start doing speech analytics with just a few clicks in the UI. We'll talk a little more about this here, but really we want these things to think about this as a single solution that's solving your customers' problems. And so I can give you an example of that. You imagine a customer calls up and they first start interacting with an automated experience. And as that customer's talking, in the background, we're actually authenticating that user, and we're using that information to understand who the customer is. We're getting information by how they interact with it, and we're pulling information from the enterprise data too, and we're using that to customize that experience. And if that customer needs to talk to an agent, then all that information, the authentication, everything is passed to that agent with the context of what has already happened. And so as that goes through, we're also listening into that conversation, and we're understanding if that call is going well, and we can actually alert a supervisor to say, hey, we've got a problem here. This is something you may need to address, either immediately or potentially via some training later on. And then finally, all of that information is flowing back out of into records and metrics you can use yourself and have full access to. So while this looks like a lot on the slide, really it's one solution. What this has meant is that we've actually had an incredibly high uptake on Amazon Connect. It has been one of the fastest growing services in AWS. We now have tens of thousands of AWS customers supporting more than 10 million contact center interactions a day. This is an incredibly large amount of interactions, and every time we do that, we partner with our customers, the folks like you, to understand what they're doing, and we keep making the system better and better. Often what we see with our customers is they actually use less Connect within 6 months of when they started because they're just becoming more efficient. And because we charge as you go, they actually pay for less. So we're helping them get better and pay for less Connect than they would if they otherwise hadn't had that support. And of course, we learn so much. There's nothing more valuable than talking to folks like you about what you're doing and learning from in the contact center. So we can break this down into sort of 3 areas if we want to. Talk about the omni-channel experience, unifying all of that stuff. We can talk about the agent experience, how you want to empower your agents to make the right decisions, and then, of course, make them productive. I always say we want to make our agents productive on day one and experienced agents superhuman. That's the goal. Give them information and the tools they need to be beyond that. And finally, again, those insights feed back to the very beginning of this. And even in real time, you can use that data to improve the experience in your contact center, making changes potentially in the IVR or changes to what the agent's seeing or changes to how you are routing your contacts to different agents. So I'm going to dive a little bit into some of the omni-channel stuff just to give you guys some background. The first thing about this, as I mentioned, it was all built from the ground up. None of this was brought together from disparate tools we purchased. Instead, what we've done is we've taken a consistent set of tools and applied them. And one of the big things we do is for those automated experiences, we offer a graphical user interface to create all these experiences. And you can apply that same graphical user interface to build a chat experience, a voice experience, or to automate other back-end tasks even. And all of these work the same. In fact, you can even use the same flow, that same experience, across voice and chat if you want to. This is really powerful because you train people only once to be able to use it, and then you get all of this experience. And those flows natively use and integrate with that natural language understanding if you want that capability as well. We've recently added outbound campaigns to this, so now you can drive omni-channel campaigns across voice, text, and email, so you can reach out to your customers across the channel of their preference or yours. So when we think about these outbound campaigns, obviously one of the key aspects is regulatory compliance. We give you the tools to be able to deal with that and to enable yourself. You can choose how you want to reach out to customers. You can even pick on a customer basis which channel you want to use. And then, of course, by having that predictive dialing, that actually allows your agents to be more productive, which is incredibly powerful. And of course, again, you want to be able to meet your customers where they are. This does a great job of that because you have so much flexibility. Additionally, we keep innovating on these things. I mentioned you saw that picture with all of those areas on it before, that big blow up of the capabilities. Those capabilities are something we're constantly making better. And so if you look at something like chat, we just keep adding more capabilities. This is just a few of the more recent ones we've added. The ability to add rich text and emojis. We are making allow chats to be persistent for much longer. And now adding more notifications for agents. These are all just things that make chat better, and we're not going to stop. We're not slowing down. We have a whole team of people doing nothing but making chat better. And as we add these features, you get the benefit of them without having to do anything. You don't have to use them, but if you want to, they're already there. You don't have to install new software. It's a really compelling and powerful tool that is always getting better for you. I mentioned a little bit about the flows. We recently updated the flow graphical experience. Anyone here, how many people here are Connect users already? Cool. So we've got a few folks. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. First off, thank you. That's tremendous. And we heard a lot of people were saying, hey, this looked the user interface was starting to look a little dated, and additionally, people just wanted to be more efficient and effective with it. We've shipped a ton of new flow experiences to make that faster and easier to use, allowing you to have more in-place editing and to be able to drag and drop things faster, searching, all the things that you guys keep telling us. And we're not going to stop, so keep the feedback coming. We love it. We love hearing what you guys want us to do next. More than 92%, I believe, or 96% of all features we have in AWS came directly from customer asks. We like to keep a few percentage points to do some innovation on your behalf too, but really it's based on what you guys have wanted. So at this point, I'd like to bring up some customers, because I always say there's nothing that's more interesting than hearing what people really using the system are doing. So if you don't mind, Prithvi and Vikas from Adobe, would you mind coming up here and explaining a little bit about some of the successes you've had with Connect, some of the learnings, and talk about where you're going with it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, PQ, and thank you to all of you for having us here. Let me start with a simple question. How many of you have used Acrobat in your day-to-day lives? Please raise your hand if you have done so. Wow, majority of you have used the product, and we are the company behind the product. Adobe is a leading software company, well known for Photoshop and Creative Cloud suite of products. We also power digital business of many leading enterprises around the world. We are a $15+ billion company as of 2021, have 26,000+ employees around the world. Our main message here is we chose AWS Connect for its scalability, resilience, and omnichannel experience, and we are going to talk about it a little bit more. Let me start with providing an overview of our contact center footprint. We have a mid-sized contact center operations. On a daily basis, typically we get around 30,000 messaging conversations and around 6,000 voice conversations from our customers. And these customers may range from individual consumers to most of the large enterprises around the world. And these conversations can be both sales as well as support-related conversations. On the customer support area, we support both account management type of support questions as well as technical support questions. So now I will request our engineering leader, Vikas, who, by the way, has a patent on customer experience domain, to talk about our challenges with the legacy contact center platform and journey on AWS Connect so far.
Thank you, Prithvi. Hello, everyone. So I'll now walk you through the challenges we have been facing with the legacy support platform that motivated us to look for an alternate solution. So if you see on the left-hand side of the slide, the first major challenge with the legacy platform was the recurring platform outages that was critically impacting our business. Our legacy platform was very unstable. Most of my team's bandwidth was just wasted in managing those outages. And it was hard for me to add any new capabilities to the platform. And there was a constant push from my business stakeholders to add new capabilities, to improve, to innovate on the customer experience. The next big challenge here was the disjointed experience with our voice and chat support for both our customers and agents. Since we were using two different platforms for voice and chat, there was no way that our customers can easily switch between the two channels without losing the context. And our agents has to log into two different agent consoles to support our customers. So these challenges were strong enough to motivate us to look for an alternate solution for our omnichannel contact center solution, a solution that can enable my team to deliver personalized experiences using AI/ML technologies, deriving engagement and retention. And that is why we needed a strong partner to help us to motivate, to help us to meet our goals for innovation, flexibility, and scale. And this is how our migration journey started. So back in 2020, when most of the world was dealing with pandemic, we had another big challenge to work on, to move to a reliable and scalable omnichannel platform. We started our journey with a discovery phase, compiling all of our business requirements and understanding what all solutions are available in the market. As a result of this discovery phase, we hosted a quick 3-day hackathon led by Amazon Professional Services team to evaluate Amazon Connect as the omnichannel solution. The hackathon was a huge success and helped us build confidence that we are in the right direction to meet our goals. We launched a proof of concept, an end-to-end proof of concept, integrating Amazon Connect with our custom chat client and other backend services for identity, entitlement, and case management. It was a smooth integration with Amazon Connect as it is based on API-first extensible architecture. And that was not enough. We launched a request for proposal with top omnichannel vendors as recommended by Gartner to evaluate them on the following key criteria. The new platform should be a true omnichannel solution, enabling our customers to easily switch across the channels without losing the context. The new platform should be based on API-first architecture, enabling my engineering team to integrate custom components without any hassles. And of course, the platform should be cost efficient. Amazon Connect passed on all these criteria and was selected as the future omnichannel platform for Adobe support. And from there on, we started our engineering alignment with our partner teams that includes Amazon Professional Services team and started the execution. And by April 2022, we were able to successfully migrate Adobe Chat support to Amazon Connect. And that was a huge win. From there on, we continued our journey, adding new capabilities to our chat support, leveraging other services from AWS ecosystem. And we recently kicked off our migrating voice support to Amazon Connect, which is planned to go live in 2023. And that will bring us a true omnichannel solution for Adobe support. Let me now go through some of the key accomplishments from our chat migration journey. So we measured our success on 3 key pillars: reliability, scalability, and business impact. On the reliability side, so we were able to successfully address our biggest challenge of stability issues with our legacy support platform. It has been 6 months. We have migrated to Amazon Connect for our chat support, and we have not seen a major platform outage that is critically impacting our business. I'm so relieved that now my team can focus on adding new capabilities to the platform instead of just managing the outages. We have handled 2+ million chats globally since the launch. And with the voice support getting migrated to Amazon Connect, we will bring in a true omnichannel support platform for Adobe. And with this migration, we have enhanced our agent and custom experience. You can see some of the reviews from our Adobe tech support team on the right-hand side of the slide. Our Adobe tech support team is delighted with the new, improved, and stable experience. The new experience is fast, accurate, and easy to learn. And our customer experience is growing day by day. Let me ask Prithvi to share what's next for Adobe with Amazon Connect.
Thank you, Vikas. As you can see, this screenshot is our omnichannel agent console that we built in partnership with Amazon Professional Services that is getting rave reviews from our agents. We are really proud of this accomplishment. But we are not stopping here. We have a very busy and feature-rich roadmap ahead of us next year. As Vikas was mentioning, we do plan to bring in the voice into this platform in 2023, and that will create a true omnichannel experience for our agents as well as customers who can, in a frictionless way, switch channels and still continue the conversation without losing any context. And we still plan to improve the personalization aspects of the customer experience. Many features are planned in this area. First one, we are planning to have a behavioral matching between customers and agents so that we always have the best agents available to support our customers. We do plan to provide a real-time sentiment analysis that PQ was talking about to provide feedback to the agents as well as their supervisors, how the conversation is going, and if there is a training opportunity or we need intervention at any point of time. On the voice channel, we do plan to bring in many self-service elements, again, that was shared in this roadmap before, so that our customers really feel that we know them, we know why they are calling us, and before even they express their intent, we are going to prompt them saying, hey, are you reaching us for this? And maybe we can help you in a self-service way before you wait for an agent for a multitude of minutes. And we are not stopping there. On the agent side, we do intend to bring in many modernized experience aspects as well as drive productivity. First one is, we call it geofluency, pretty popular in the context industry space. We plan to enable our customers and agents to converse in their preferred languages, which may be different, but still arrive at the resolution or close a sale still faster than they have been able to do before. We plan to provide a real-time transcription service for the voice channel. And after the conversation is over, we plan to summarize the conversation for future reference for both voice as well as our messaging channel. We plan to enable an AI-based next best action capability for our agents so that we can serve all of our customers in a consistent, predictable way. And from a platform standpoint, again, there's a lot of innovation aspects planned, and I will probably just touch upon one. We plan to open up this platform with an API SDK so that our partner teams can easily integrate into our platform without we having to do all the engineering work. So in summary, I think Adobe has been able to achieve their vision of scalable, resilient, zero platform outages, and omnichannel experience in this journey with AWS Connect. So I'd like to thank you, AWS and PQ, for being our partners in this journey. PQ, probably you can take it over.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you guys coming up here and telling your story. And I love the fact that you guys just continue to innovate and move forward with this. And so it's not a fate in time, but a journey across a long and ever-increasing goal to make it a better and better experience when you use Adobe products. And one thing I will compliment you guys on that you didn't take any credit for here, but the experience of engaging with Connect and engaging with their customers is built right into their products. It means that whether you're moving into a support scenario or a sales scenario, that experience feels completely natural to the customer. They don't have to go looking for this thing. Instead, it's there right when they need it. I love the way that works, and I love the way you guys keep innovating on top of Connect to make it a great experience for your customers. So thank you very much for going through some of that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about empowering agents. Agents are I always say they're really, doing the Lord's work sometimes. If you've ever sat and listened to agents, which my whole team does regularly, you will hear them, taking on these incredibly difficult calls and really working through things and often turning around a customer who's angry. And of course, it's not the agent's fault that they're angry. And then they're making those people, and as I said, better customers than they were when they started, more engaged, more happy with you than when they started. And we need to support those agents because happy agents are better agents. And I think that's been an area where folks have been left behind. If you look, or agents have been left behind a long time, where those experiences weren't really great experiences for the agent, which could result in subpar experiences for your customers, and longer experiences, and slower experiences, and more expensive experiences. So one of the things we've invested in heavily is our Amazon Connect Agent Workspace. And so this is a place where an agent can come now and have a full end-to-end experience, understanding so much about the customer. I'm going to dive in a little bit here and show this to you. But first, I'd like to mention that the Team Kentucky, they call themselves, who runs the DMV for Kentucky, as we commonly call it, but their transportation cabinet, has been a very early adopter of this agent workspace. And they said this just by moving over their 10 most frequent experiences to this new workspace and building that out, they were able to overnight improve outcomes and CSAT in easily measurable ways for all of their customers. They said it was literally overnight they saw that change take effect, which is it's wonderful. So the first thing I wanted to show you was when the call comes in, the agent can be greeted with who the customer is here and actually see that this customer has been authenticated using voice biometrics and that the risk of fraud here is low. And depending on your business, fraud can be an incredibly powerful and dangerous thing that can happen to you and you have to avoid. Well, here you're taking that guesswork, those challenge questions off the agent's plate and instead giving that information up front. Of course, they can still do more if they need to, if you either think it is a fraud risk or if you want to have the agent dive in a little deeper because it's a new customer. But then again, they can just enroll those folks passively into this thing, so you don't have to say anything like your voice is your password. It just happens while the natural conversation is going on. The next thing here is now that you know a little bit about the customer, you're going to be able to see how the agent actually handles the contact. And so all the contacts in Amazon Connect come through what we call our contact control panel. And the thing that's nice about it is it means chat, voice, tasks, they're all handled in the same place. They come in the same place. The agent interacts with them in the same place, making it really efficient for them to do any type of work they have to do. The next thing here is a detailed data. We call this customer profiles. These profiles can pull information from all over your enterprise. You probably have silos of customer information everywhere. This pulls them into one place and makes it available. And whether that's available for you to access them in your IVR or available to show them to the agent, it just speeds things up and simplifies a lot of heavy lifting around having to pull out information together, which, if you're anything like most of the customers I talk to, is in a lot of places. The next thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about here is Wisdom. Wisdom is a tool that allows you to actually then listen to what's happening using voice and speech recognition and then sentiment analysis to see what's actually happening on the call and provide real-time suggestions to that agent. One of the things about this that's really important is it's not intrusive. It doesn't pop up and take over the whole screen. And instead, it shows the agent, hey, here's some information we think might be useful, while still allowing the agent to focus on what they're doing. So it actually is really fully additive to that experience. It can be a lifesaver in terms of saving time sometimes, and it never is something that detracts to the experience of the agent and slows them down. And so the last thing I'll talk in this part here is show you a little bit of what one of these articles might look like. It can pull up this knowledge. It can pull that knowledge from different databases you have around your enterprise as well and provide this information. And that allows the agent to have full access to that within the context of that experience. And the nice thing is you don't have to integrate all these pieces. They just work out of the box together. You can customize them if you want to. And if you have tens of thousands of agents, you may be worth getting every pixel on the screen exactly where you want it. But if you have a smaller contact center, then just having this work right out of the box is a huge benefit. I'm going to dive into a newer feature we just recently released and has now become generally available. This is Amazon Connect Cases. So this allows you to track customer issues over time and make sure they get solved correctly. The thing that's great about it is that you can create cases right from the IVR if you want to. You can also, obviously, an agent can create them. You can route them to an agent to work on them, and they can be passed between agents through an integrated task management experience, just using Amazon Connect Tasks, which I mentioned earlier. So again, all built from the ground up to be one solution. And it's incredibly easy to turn this on if you want to use it. And you have both APIs and the UX right there. And you can even track these cases in real time through a streaming API if you want to. So again, no need to do any coding, no need to do anything to make this work. Agents can use it from day one. But no matter how much you want to customize it, it's really an open system. We always want to make sure you have access to your information. One of the really cool things about cases is that you can see all this information there that's been there, including the previous customers' experiences and the contacts they've had. But it's not just that you can see the contacts there. You actually can see a transcript of what happened on that contact. And that's really powerful. So you can actually go back and see what really did happen there. And the agents didn't have to take these as notes. Instead, they were automatically transcribed using speech analytics. So that's just one really cool part of cases. And we're happy to talk more about that if you want to come down to the booth and check it out. We can do a really deep dive on that one. Another one that's really compelling here is step-by-step guides. This is a brand new release. It's in preview right now. What this does is actually allows you to take the experience that your agents have and offer them walkthroughs of how to solve the problem. For a brand new agent, this can make them productive on day one. We talked about that. And the nice thing about it is they can click through these things, and the experience is then fully customizable, but we give you out-of-the-box examples. So this is a reservation one where we're walking through the agent through how they want to make the reservation. It's very snappy. It's very fast. And maybe one of the most interesting thing here, and you heard me say this again, but the fact that it's one solution. You build these with the same UI you use to build your automated experiences in your IVR, the same one you use to create your chat experiences. Those flows are the same tool here. So you don't have to go learn a whole new technology. In fact, literally, there's one new block that allows you to create these visualizations within the flows. It's incredibly easy for your teams who are already using Connect to learn this. And that's the approach we try to take with everything. We want you to be fast. We want you to be innovative. We want you to move at the speed of your customers. And this is a great example of where you're going to be able to start with these of day one and be successful with them if you've been building in flows for voice or for chat already. Really cool stuff. The other thing that we want to talk a little bit about here and dive in, and I'm going a little bit fast, I apologize, but I want to make sure we have enough time to get through everything we have today. But another thing I really wanted to talk about was insights and analytics. You know, we love the fact that people can use Connect really quickly and you can make quick decisions and implement things, but it's not really useful if you're not taking the outcomes of that and making your systems better. So we have a ton of work we're doing on the real-time historical analytics. We are investing in all the areas there to make that more powerful so you can get information while you're using the system and then after as well. And we give you full access to that data. We've also listened to the folks who are customers out there. We know you guys have had asked for more analytics. We're building those out right now. I've got a team of folks who are focused on all the different asks you guys have to say, we want more and more data. And I believe you. I know why you do. It's incredibly powerful to make data-driven decisions and not be guessing and hoping. And so that's one big investment area for us. Another one is forecasting, scheduling for your agents. A lot of folks are obviously trying to figure out how to be more effective with your agents, especially in times, again, when the economy is tough. You want to make sure you don't have agents sitting there doing nothing, but you also can't afford to miss your SLAs and disappoint your customers. I'll talk a bit about that more, but in each of these cases, we're using ML to make these experiences better, whether that be helping you understand your analytics or understanding where you need to put your customers or analyzing the actual calls that are coming in real time. And finally, it's all self-service. You don't need to ask us to do anything here. You can just go turn this on and start using it. And if you don't like it, if it doesn't work, you can just stop using it. And you don't have to do any expensive SOWs. Of course, we're happy to help with you if you want some help getting started with it, but it's really simple. In many cases, it's literally just a few clicks to turn this stuff on. One of the things that is literally a single click to turn on is the forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. And this is new capabilities to allow you to manage your workforce and make sure you're getting the most out of them. And the thing about this is we bring that passion we have around machine learning and around doing math. We love, AWS loves doing math, and Amazon, we are an incredibly data-driven company. And we bring that and we're giving it to you now in a tool that is really effective. Customers have told us that they've seen immediate results of having more effective forecasts than they had with previous systems they had used, even while we were in our beta. Well, now it's generally available. You can use it today, and you can use it to understand what your customers are doing, understand what your agents, you can understand what your contact flow is going to be in, what your contacts are going to come in. You can then use that to forecast the amount of agents you need, and then to schedule those agents so that they can be available when you need them, and you always have the right amount there. Another big announcement for us, another big release in the analytics side, which is incredibly powerful, is Contact Lens was originally for voice only. We were listening to those calls and then transcribing them, creating summaries, and then putting those into your contact record so you'd be able to full access of them. And you could do that literally on every call now instead of having to go back and listen to those calls with a person and score them manually. Contact Lens could do that on every single call. Now we brought that to chat too, so now we can go and help you understand all of your chats, the same with those same technologies we do, sentiment analysis, the ability, and having all of that capability there. Now your agents aren't taking notes necessarily and wasting a lot of time and wrap-up time that could be spent helping another customer or dealing with real tasks they have to do day to day. So now that is available for chat too, which is incredibly exciting. At this point, I want to bring up another customer. That's always, again, my favorite part of these conversations is having the customers here. So if you don't mind, I'll bring Hex and Wilton up, and we can maybe have a little chat. Now, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, I did write down the questions on a piece of paper, so in case I screwed it up. But let's see how I do without looking. I mean, you guys will know if I cheat. So thank you so much for coming up here. I'd like to get started just by maybe giving the audience a little bit of an understanding of what Saks is, Saks.com, and maybe your role there.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. How many of you have heard Saks Fifth Avenue?
Yay.
So Saks is your ultimate destination for luxury fashion. We're here to help you express yourself through fashion, as well as a place to discover new trends through designers you love, as well as designers you haven't heard of. I lead the overall customer experience and servicing team for Saks Fifth Avenue, and my team strive to truly and deeply understand customer journey so that we're able to get it right the first time more often. What that means is really identify friction points within the customer journey so that we're able to bring it back to the rest of the organization and influence the overall strategy and roadmap. As well as when customers do engage with us, we want to provide the most luxurious experience by solving their problem as effectively and as efficiently as possible, and also along the way inserting delightful experiences when appropriate.
Cool, thank you, thank you. Well, you obviously are great with trends in fashion, but you've also been highly engaged with your customers. Have you seen any trends in what's happening with customer service?
Yeah, of course. So the word on the street is personalization, right? Right? So with personalization, there's not a one-fit-all solution, and similarly, your customers are not the same. Their profiles as well as needs are not the same. So what that means is, luckily, with the abundance of data, we have data where is customers' preferences, where we have customers' behavior in terms of the browsing, as well as order history. How can we leverage that data effectively so that we can able to drive meaningful and contextually relevant conversations to deepen that relationship? And again, through that, along the way, through that experience, we're able to, again, inserting delightful experience or delightful recommendations before they even ask.
Cool, yeah, that's very interesting. How have you applied these to your strategies for customer service at Saks?
Absolutely. So there are only three things that we have to do. Number one is we always have to put our customer at the core of our decision making. So again, truly understand your customer journey. Number two is that to do that effectively, you must be a data-driven organization. And what I mean by that is whether it is your daily contact center flash or how consistent you are in terms of measuring your product performance, you have to live and breathe in that data, ask why, so you're able to extrapolate insights that is going to influence your backlog, that is going to influence your overall strategy. And with that, you're able to build feature sets that can be used for machine learning to solve your more complex problem in your organization. And the third one is pick a technology platform that not only is going to able to solve your problem today, but has tremendous potential in terms of continue to evolve into the future that is going to support you with your ever-changing customer needs.
Cool, well, that's awesome. That's really exciting to hear how much you're using data to drive these outcomes. I know one of the things you mentioned to me before was that you had said the speed of innovation you could deliver was really important to your selection of Amazon Connect. What have you seen and what have you been doing for the last, since May when you first launched your new Amazon Connect instance and got up and running?
So that's a great question. First, I want to declare that I am a collector of shoes. So coming to Saks Fifth Avenue is definitely a dream come true. And thankfully, I am not a collector of technology. So with technology, you must use it to really get the biggest bang for your buck. Right, so ever since we released in May, we have done a ton of implementation enhancements in our contact center technology. For example, when customers call, and I think PQ mentioned that earlier, we're able to predict why customers are calling, and we're able to use our Lexbot to say, are you calling about XYZ? So that we're able to proactively serve up the information to them before they need to talk to an agent. Now, on the other side, I think agents' jobs are so hard these days. Right? So we recently rolled out next best action. What that is using Amazon Contact Lens, and it is identified triggers and is sending signal to the agent desktop to be able to pop relevant information to guide them through the conversation more effectively. And with that, we're really able to provide a more consistent quality of customer experience in a contact center with hundreds or thousands of agents.
Ah, very cool, very cool. Well, I have to say, the collection of shoes has gone very well. Those are very impressive. I don't think I could walk around in those even, but they look amazing.
Thank you.
So it does sound like you've gotten a ton done there. What was your approach to delivering all that for your customers?
There are two things. we're always thinking about in terms of making decisions. Number one is time to market. At Saks, we have a culture of rapidly innovating, experiment, learn. So definitely things that are multi-quarters or multi-years is something that we try not to consider. The second thing is that we will never sacrifice business resiliency or customer experience. So with all of that in mind, we decided to bring in a Amazon partner and to help us transition to Connect. Within 2 months, we were able to transition onto Connect with 0 operational downtime. And that was a tremendous amount of success because it actually put us on the right path in terms of innovating the platform into the future.
Well, I love the fact that you brought a partner in to learn from and not just to do the work, and not just sign an SOW and then 6 months or 2 years later hope that what you had planned out was actually the right thing, but instead had that continual innovation. I think that's an amazing story, and certainly when you call Saks, that experience shows through that you guys are constantly innovating. What do you guys have planned for the next 3 to 6 months?
So the first thing is we have to get through the holidays. That's number one, right? But this gives us time. Again, going back to what I talked about being a data-driven organization, as we released Next Best Action, this is a perfect opportunity for us to look at the data. What type of business benefit are we going to get from it, as well as what are the experiences that agents are expressing, so that we're able to use that to modify our backlog and continue to implement that into the future. And also, I'm really excited just now to see that there is a agent evaluation form coming in, right? So if you're in the contact center space, we know that from a QA standpoint, you're probably covering about 5%. Mm-hmm. Imagine the world with 100% coverage, right? That is truly, truly transformational because you're able to change the culture to be much more of a continuous improvement. And sign us up. I want to pilot that feature as soon as possible.
Awesome. Well, that's terrific, terrific. Well, I guess I'll finish up by asking you, is there any advice you would have for folks who are coming on to Amazon Connect? Anything you've learned and would recommend they do or think about?
Yeah, absolutely. So with AWS, you're getting one thing, but you have access to the suite of all of the AWS capabilities. In addition to that, you also gain access to all of the expertise and the SMEs within AWS. So my recommendation is take advantage of that. Use it as much as possible so that you're able to rapidly iterate, innovate, and drive business value to your business as well as improving your customer experience.
Well, thank you so much. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I definitely have to up my shoe game for next year. I don't know if I can pull that off, though. Cool. Good point. Texan mentioned one of the things I think is really important here, which is the ability to transform your customer experience is not something you necessarily want to do on your own. Instead, you really want a partner or maybe multiple partners. And I mean partners in the sense of the fact that we have great SIs who can help you, whether they be boutique shops who specialize in Connect, or whether they be the big global solutions you are familiar with or may already be using. But we also partner with you ourselves. We have a lot of folks here ready to help you, whether it be our professional services, our AWS support teams who are ready to help you if you run into problems. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, we're there to answer your calls. You can learn from our customer service. We can learn our best practices, the things we've done. We are really birds of a feather. I find that it's amazing how similar when I talk to customers how passionate you are about helping your customers and how we share that same fiber of being really about how you think about being customer obsessed. And we want to share that with you. We want to learn from you, and hopefully you can learn some from us too. And then we also have tools to help accelerate you, whether that be providing support or custom professional services or methodologies that make you go faster when you move quickly. I mean, I think you heard from Hexen and from Adobe both how quickly they moved. And these are big lifts. I mean, it's a really big deal to move your customer service. You probably have a lot of expense, a lot of work, a lot of time and effort have gone into building the way things work today. And that's not something to take lightly. I mean, you've got a lot of great work, I'm sure. But the fact that you can move so quickly and then iterate is really compelling here. And we want to give you the tools to make that go even faster. We have trainings and certifications for folks who want to learn more about Connect. Also, obviously, while you're here at the thing, you can come down to the booth and ask about anything you want to know about. We also have SAs, and our sales reps are very knowledgeable as well to help you there. Our approach is much more about your success, and in fact, if you look at the way we get paid, if you're not using the product, if you're not being successful with it, we don't make any money, and that was not an accident. I very much planned it that way, and Andy Jassy, our now CEO of all of Amazon, but then CEO of AWS, was highly supportive of that mental model of saying, make customers successful, and they will be happy to pay you for it, and if they aren't successful, they shouldn't, and that has been the approach we've taken from day one. And so there's a ton of opportunity here for you to leverage all those tools. This is the quote-unquote NASCAR slide of our professional services and partners who can help integrate with it. You can see we have a broad variety of integration points here, everything from back-end services or existing workforce management tools that you might want to use, all the way to things like Salesforce integrations, tools that let you integrate directly with your existing CRMs and experiences if you want to. We're extremely flexible in this. We love the idea that we have partners, and even if they offer similar tools to what we have here, we want to make you successful with the one that works best for you. And we just love that tenet that says we want you to have choice. So I'm going to let you guys take some pictures here if you want to. We have a ton of sessions here. I think this indicates the level of investment we're continuing to make in Amazon Connect, which obviously excites me. These are really for you to come learn about it. You can talk to customers directly. You can go talk to our experts. We have everything from Chalk Talks, and we have more here. So please, if you missed one that you want to see, you can watch them online, but I definitely recommend going in person. They're great, and the people love to see your faces out there. As I said, everyone I know who's in this industry loves people, so please come and talk to us, learn from us, teach us. It's really awesome. So we have all these terrific things to do. I'll also give you some ways to take a look at some of our information that's on the web here. If you want to take a picture of this or click on any of these, it'll give you access directly to things. And I always think some of the most interesting ones are talking to the customers who are using Connect to be successful. Obviously, I can sit up here and talk all day about all the cool things we're doing, and you can obviously tell I love doing that. But it is much more interesting to hear how customers are succeeding, I think, directly from the customer. And we have a ton of blogs to help you be successful, things that'll teach you what other people have learned already, so you don't have to be the first one trying it, save you a lot of time, and also get really deep into the inner workings of how you can start really innovating at a rapid pace in the contact center.